everyone, and welcome to the Week 11 edition of Instant Replay, where I give you my take on the most controversial plays of the weekend. I'm Simon Board. We start at Red Bull Arena, where the star of the show was LA's Romain Alessandrini, who had a hand in all three Galaxy goals in their road win over the Red Bulls. But Alessandrini was also on the wrong end of a hard collision with New York's Kemar Lawrence in the 20th minute, and I think this was well handled by referee Jose Carlos Rivero. Both players had a right to challenge for this ball. Lawrence just had a little more momentum behind him. Red Bulls fans point to two potential turning points in the match. First, did Galaxy right back Bradley Diallo, who was already on a yellow, deserve a second yellow for this challenge on New York's Kemar Lawrence? I agree with the referee who awarded the corner kick. That's a fair challenge by Diallo, who would eventually get his second yellow in the final minute of regulation, and there's no doubt about that one. That was reckless on New York's Felipe, and Rivero shows him the second yellow. On to the Houston-Vancouver match, which was a physical one at BBVA Compass Stadium with a handful of tough fouls. But the big decision in this one was a penalty kick call in the 67th minute. Referee Fotis Bazakos awards the penalty to Houston, although Vancouver defender Kendall Waston doesn't agree. In my opinion, that's a case of Houston forward Mauro Manotas running into Waston, who has position and 50 pounds on Manotas. And the Colombian forward goes flying. Cubo Torres takes advantage for Houston's second goal, and the Dynamo would hold on for the 2-1 win. In Toronto, there were two penalty kicks called by referee Alan Chapman, one in each half, one for each team. First up, in the 19th minute, Minnesota's Abu Danladi chops down Raheem Edwards, and that's a stone-cold PK for me. Toronto's Sebastian Jovinko puts it away. Then in the 61st minute, Edwards gave one away in his own end, committing this handball on the header by Minnesota's Francisco Calvo. I think that's another great call, and Kevin Molino needs two cracks at this one. That made it 2-2, but Toronto would go on to win it. The Colorado Rapids handled the San Jose Earthquakes at home 3-0 to stop a 5-game losing streak, but did their second goal start with a foul? We look at the replay here, and it seems to me like Rapids forward Dominique Badji may have tripped up Anibal Godoy on the follow-through to his challenge. Godoy hits the deck, and Badji was off to the races. No protest from Godoy, no foul called by referee Marcos de Oliveira, and the goal stands. The referee had a big call to make about 10 minutes earlier. Check out how Rapids defender Jared Watts challenges Jamir Hika for the ball. Ouch! I thought that could have seen a straight red for endangering the safety. No foul or card issued in this case. Instead, it's a throw into the Quakes. One of the most impressive results of Week 11 was Crew SC going to Montreal and winning 3-2. And they have this late stoppage time Justin Miram goal to thank for all 3 points. The Impact at one point were down 2-0 and they came back to tie it 2-2. But I thought the play that led to Montreal's first goal should have been stopped short when it looked to me like Ignacio Piatti went after the man and not the ball on this collision with Crew SC defender Jonathan Mensah. Petrescu says play on, and 10 seconds later, Piatti had his goal. There were 5 yellow cards in this game, including this one to Montreal's Chris Duval for a hard studs-up foul on Justin Miram, though I thought that probably deserved harsher punishment. Another MLS road win in Week 11 for the Philadelphia Union, who emerged 4-0 victors at RFK Stadium. But DC were hoping for a potential game-tying penalty with the Union up 1-0. That's Lloyd Sam going down in the box on the challenge from Philly's Fabinho, but referee Chris Penso does not point to the spot and awards the goal kick instead. And I think he's right. Although Fabinho's leg crosses into the path of Sam, it looks to me like Sam is already going down. And for my money, that no call is the best decision of the week. Penso issued a red card in this match, and it was a straight red shown to DC's Lucho Acosta, who just chops down Philly's Ilsinho just seconds after he didn't get the call on a hard challenge. And I agree with Penso here too, because of the excessive force behind that kick from Acosta, and DC are reduced to 10 men, they go on to concede 3 more goals. To Toyota Stadium, where FC Dallas and NYCFC finished 1-1, but could the visitors have had a penalty with 5 minutes left when this cross makes contact with the outstretched arm of Carlos Grueso in the box? This is a tough one because it looks like Grueso slips, and although the arm is outstretched away from his body, I think that's part of his natural motion in this case. Frankly, I don't know what else Grueso could have done with that arm, and the ball strikes it. I'm okay with the no call from referee Robert Sabiga. Where I'll differ with Sabiga is on this challenge by NYCFC left back Ben Sweat, who goes in with the studs-up straight-legged challenge on Michael Barrios. The referee Sabiga opts for a yellow, but I thought Sweat endangered the safety of his opponent, and I would have gone with a red. On to Orlando, where Sporting KC fans will argue they should have had a penalty as early as the 8th minute after referee Ricardo Salazar calls this push in the back by Jonathan Spector on SKC forward Latif Blessing. Now, the referee spots the foul outside the box, but if we're to look at the slow-mo replay, it appears appears as if the bump happens right on the edge of the area, although in real time, I can absolutely see how the referee saw the play unfold. And there don't seem to be any protests from Sporting, who scored just over a minute later. Now, Blessing had both goals for Sporting, and he wanted a penalty in minute 69 with Sporting trailing by a goal. He doesn't get the call from the referee, but with the benefit of a slow-mo replay, I thought that little tug by defender Scott Sutter was enough to throw him off balance and prevent him from taking the shot. For what it's worth, less than 10 minutes later, Blessing did go in the referee's book for simulation, and this was pretty blatant. This was a really entertaining match, which finished 2-2, but Orlando thought they had scored the winner in the 75th minute, except it was called back because the corner kick by Will Johnson was ruled to have curled out of bounds over the end line on its way into the box. There's no replay that exists on this one that's going to beat the view of assistant referee Kyle Atkins, who raised the flag as the stadium went crazy. Next up, the 1-1 draw at Providence Park between Portland and Atlanta, and the match could have really turned in the 35th minute when Atlanta midfielder Carlos Carmona scissors Portland Sebastian Blanco right in front of the referee Alan Kelly. Carmona got a yellow, although I thought he was lucky not to see a straight red. The two sides scored the only goals of the match in the first 5 minutes of the second half, but some felt Portland goal scorer Liam Ridgewell may have been offside on the free kick he headed into the back of the net. But on the freeze frame, it looks to me like the front of Ridgewell's body was even with the foot of Atlanta's Carlos Carmona. Far side assistant Ian Anderson keeps his flag down, and the goal and this Ridgie roll stands. The match was a tight affair, and in minute 76, Miguel Almiron and his Atlanta teammates wanted a handball called on Ridgewell. But referee Alan Kelly is spot on here. That's ball to hand. It caroms right off his arm. Ridgewell's not doing anything illegal there for me. And we end with the Chicago-Seattle match, where the big talking point was the penalty kick awarded in the 23rd minute to the Chicago Fire, which was eventually retaken for encroachment. We'll start with the penalty. Referee Nima Sagafi called defender Tony Alfaro for the foul in the box after his tackle on Chicago's Nemanja Nikolic. But while I can see how that looked like a PK in real time from the perspective of the referee, with the benefit of replay, it looks to me like Alfaro makes a play on the ball, not on the player, and then Nikolic lets himself go. Nonetheless, the Fire get the penalty, and David Accam's first attempt is saved by Sounders keeper Stefan Frei, only for the referee Sagafi to order the kick retaken for what was reportedly encroachment by both teams. And on the second try, it's Nikolic who steps up and makes no mistake. Now, when we look at the freeze frame, the encroachment is not clear to me. Now, just a few minutes later, Sounders fans were arguing they should have gotten the penalty call in minute 29 when Fire defender João Meira tackles the ball away from Jordan Morris in the box. But that's a great no call by the referee, who points to the corner. I thought that was a clean tackle by Meira. The Sounders would eventually equalize, and with the score tied 1-1 early in the second half, there were some making the argument that Fire goalkeeper Matt Lamson should have seen a red card for denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity after flubbing this attempted dribble here and then taking down Seattle's Nicolas Lodeiro. Referee Nima Sagafi gives him a yellow, and I agree, and here's why. The direction of Lodeiro's movement. He was moving laterally across the field as opposed to heading in on goal. Plus, there was the presence of another Fire defender at the edge of the box. There was a red card in this match, and it was shown to a Sounder, specifically in the 89th minute to ex-Fire player Jovan Jones, who managed to earn 2 yellow cards in a matter of 3 minutes. And I agree with both of them, including the fateful second one for stopping a promising attack. One final episode to look at in minute 61. With the Fire up 2-1, it looks from the replays like Fire center back Johan Kapilov gets a slight tug on the shoulder of Clint Dempsey, which throws the Sounders forward off balance as he attempts to connect with a cross. No foul called by referee Nima Sagafi. What did you think about the plays in the Chicago-Seattle match? Let us know in the comment section below, and until next week, for our editor Rich Hernandez, I'm Simon Borg. See you next time!